Complex fractions. Complex fractions just kind of give you a different look to something you've already done. Right? So you know how to add and subtract fractions. You know how to divide. So don't write this down, but way back when you would have seen something like this with numbers, or maybe you're adding a couple of fractions and then you go through and subtract a couple and then divide. So the idea would be your order of operations was you do this first, get whatever your answer is, then you do this, and then you would divide. Right? So this wouldn't be the answer to this problem, but let's say it's something like this, and then you would invert and multiply that 5/6. Does that make sense? Okay. A complex fraction looks like this. Complex fraction is in this format. So this would be the same problem in a complex fraction format. Looks horrible the way it's written, but it's really, the reason is because it's 5 fractions. You have 2 up top, 2 on the bottom, and then this whole thing, all the fractions. So what I need you to realize is this look is this. So what we're going to do when we see a complex fraction, we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. Then we'll take care of the division. So the last lesson was adding and subtracting. We got to have a common denominator. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take care of that up top, take care of that on the bottom. The lesson before that was division. Then we'll take care of the division. So we're combining the last couple things that we've done for that piece. Okay, so we'll get a little bit of review for addition and subtraction, a little bit of review for division where we invert and multiply. Okay, so we're going to see some variables. Let's look at something like this. Let's go with 1 over x squared minus 1 all over 1 plus 1 over x. Okay, so this is what we're going to look at here. Again, the way it's set up, it doesn't look that great. Break it into pieces. We're going to do the top. When we finish the top, we'll do the bottom. Then we'll take care of the division. So when we're looking at this, on your paper there, all your focus is the top. So just kind of ignore the bottoms there. That's really a 1 over 1. So we need a common denominator up top. Okay? So if we get our common denominator, it's going to be x squared. Then we build the numerator. So this is going back to what we did last time. We're not going to multiply this one by anything. It has the common. Minus 1 times x squared. Now I know I can put things together, but I'm just trying to get that top written out. Okay, so that up top would just be 1 minus x squared over x squared. Nothing changing there. Now I go to the bottom. I'm looking at the bottom and I see, okay, I need a common denominator again. This time it will be x. So I'd have to multiply this one by x and the other one by nothing. Now the way this is looking is still looking pretty difficult, but what you need to realize is instead of having 2 fractions up top and 2 on the bottom, we now have 1 and 1. No, it's still not looking easy, but I've at least reduced it down some. Okay. Now we're going to take care of the division. Okay. We don't divide fractions. We multiply by the reciprocal. So this would become 1 minus x squared over x squared, there's that top piece, times, now the reciprocal, x over x plus 1, and we're back to simplifying our fractions or multiplying. It's what we did 2 classes ago. Okay. So we completed the addition and subtraction. Now we're doing the division, which switches to multiplication. We invert and multiply. Now we're back doing last time. So, or 2 times ago, I should say. Here we go. First off, we realize from our old factoring rules, this guy's in the wrong order. Remember, x is supposed to be first, so I'm going to rewrite that as negative x squared plus 1. Now let's think about all of our factoring. We don't leave with a negative, so I'm going to factor a negative out. That'd be negative, and then x squared minus 1. My negative's out of there. We're not doing anything new here, but it's combining a lot of stuff we've done. I can now factor that as negative x plus 1, x minus 1. Then I'm looking for things to cancel. I have everything factored out. X plus 1 cancels with x plus 1. And x up here will take out one of these x's there and leave me an x. Nothing else I can do. I'm left with negative x minus 1 up top. So there's my negative, my x minus 1. I'm left with x on the bottom. There's my final simplified answer. Now look really close at the process. I don't think these are difficult problems because of the process, but I think they're difficult because of all the steps. Okay, it's combining a lot of stuff we've done. So we first said, all right, let's get that top taken care of. Let's get the bottom taken care of. I'm down to a fraction over a fraction. I don't divide fractions, so I invert and multiply. That gets me to here. And then I've got a factor. If I can factor, I'm looking to simplify, whatever it is. Okay? For those pieces. Get a different look here. Let's go with 1 minus 3 over x minus 10 over x squared all over 1 plus 11 over x plus 18 over x squared. Now this one, in essence, is looking even worse. Because instead of 2 fractions up top and 2 on the bottom, now I've got 3 and 3. I'm still going to stick to my same plan. I need to take care of the numerator. So for me to combine the numerator's terms, I've got to get a common denominator, put them together. Then I'm going to take care of that denominator. Again, common denominator, put them together. So up top, and again, for some people it does help. I cover it up. That's all I care about is the top. My common denominator up top is x squared. Common denominator up top is x squared. Build the numerator. So we're going to have 1 times x squared minus 3 times x, because it only had one of them. I've got an x squared down there, minus 10. My numerator's done. I go to the denominator. Again, common's x squared. So we're going to have 1 times x squared plus 11 times x plus 18. And despite how it looks, it still looks a little better than the original because I combined the ones up top and combined the ones on the bottom. So now I'm looking to divide. I don't divide fractions. Multiply by the reciprocal. So which one flips over, the top one or the bottom one? Which one's going to flip? Bottom one, right? The one we're dividing by is the one going to flip. So I'm going to flip that bottom one over. So we're going to have x squared minus 3x minus 10 over x squared. Here comes that bottom one flipped over, x squared over x squared plus 11x plus 18. And now, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's definitely starting to look familiar. Back to that multiplication format. I see things that need to factor. I need to factor that top left. I need to factor the bottom right. I can see right away the x squares, they're going to cancel. That part I can see, but I've got to get things factored from that point forward. So x squared minus 3x minus 10. This is going to factor to x minus 5. X plus 2. I have to have it all broken down. The bottom right. X plus 9. X plus 2. That gives me 11 in the middle. And when we did this before and we said get everything factored out, we said, well, it's going to be obvious when you see something cancels. You see it show up. You can see those x plus 2s sitting there. X plus 2 is a cancel. That's leaving me with the x minus 5 over x plus 9. Again, the best part about this, all the steps are stuff you've done. The worst part is it's a lot of steps. Okay? But there's nothing new. It's taking care of the individual pieces as we're going along. Everybody okay there? Okay. Let's get a different look here. Let's go with 4 over x squared minus 1 minus 3 over x plus 1, all divided by 5 over x squared minus 1 minus 2 over x minus 1. So again, when we're looking to combine this, I'm going to do the top, then I'm going to do the bottom, then I'll take care of the division. I'm not doing it all at once. So we're just going to focus on the top. And when I look up here and I need to get a common denominator, what I realize is from last class, one of those denominators needs to be factored. So I need it factored down so I can see the common. This would be x plus 1, x minus 1. Matter of fact, I said, well, we're not looking at the bottom yet, but you see the same thing. You might as well just go ahead and get it factored. Anytime we see something that can be factored, we need to take care of it. Okay, get it out of our way. So now my focus is the top. Now this is where we talked about maybe you have a little bit of trouble finding the common denominators because there's so much going on. Again, don't look at the bottom. When I look at that top, here was our rule from last class. We said, well, write the first one down, x plus 1, x minus 1. Writing that green one down. Then we go over here. I need an x plus 1. Well, I've got one, so I'm good. If I didn't, I would write it down. I'm good, I've got one. Go to the numerator, 4. I don't multiply 4 by anything because it already has the common. Minus 3. And that's times the x minus 1. Old, new. It's missing that x minus 1, so I need it up there. I then go to the bottom. Same idea. I'm going to write my first one down. Then I'm going to go to the second one. Wait, I don't need it. I've already got it there. I'm good. I feel comfortable with that. 5 times nothing because it already has the common. Everything's good. Minus 2. Let's see, that's got an x minus 1. I look over here. I need the x plus 1. That's my setup. Now I know that I can distribute the 3, the 2, and I'm going to take care of that, but I'm just trying to get things together right now. Everybody okay there? So now we're going to invert and multiply, simplify where I can. So this top one here, we're going to have 4 minus 3x plus 3 over x plus 1, x minus 1. I went ahead and just distributed my negative 3. Times x plus 1, x minus 1 on top. Remember, we're inverting and multiplying. Now here comes the bottom. Distribute the negative 2. 5 minus 2x minus 2. And we've got some cleaning up we can do here, but I've got to get it situated. I have it the way I want. I've inverted that bottom one. Now you should see a few things. Number one, you can combine like terms up here, combine like terms on the bottom right, and then you can really see the obvious. Hey, the x plus 1s and the x minus 1s cancel. Something from up top and something from the bottom. Okay. This would become negative 3x plus 7. I combine like terms there. This becomes negative 2x plus 3, combining like terms there. And there's no other factoring I can do. There's nothing that can cancel. That would be my answer, that negative 3x.
Can you take out the negative since they're both negative? Yeah.
I could take out the negative. Yeah, let me get that out there. So I would agree with that. You can definitely take out the negative, and it's just going to flip the signs. So this is correct. Or, like you said, hey, you know what? I can factor out a negative out of both. Those negatives cancel then, which would give me 3x minus 7 over 2x minus 3. Switching those signs. Going correct. That's a good point. We don't leave with that negative, so we can get that guy out of there. Everybody okay there? Pay very close attention to the steps. None of them are new. Definitely has a lot worse look to all of it. Much larger problem. We focus on those steps. With this, let's go 3 over x plus 2 over x plus 1 all over 1 over x plus 1 minus 3 over x minus 2. Remember, our focus is do the top. When I'm done, I'll do the bottom. When I'm done, I'll take care of the division. So all I'm looking at is the top. And I'm thinking about a common denominator up top. So again, just to review that common denominator, what we said was, all right, write the first one down, x. Then I look here. Wait, I need an x plus 1 because I don't have one over here. If I don't have it, I need it. Build the numerator, 3. Okay, I have an x. I look at my common. I need the x plus 1 with the 3. Plus 2. I have the x plus 1. This means I need the x with that 2. Everyone okay with the top? Go to the bottom. Still looking for my common first. X plus 1, x minus 2. There's that common. 1 times x minus 2 minus 3 times x plus 1. Now, we got a lot of simplifying to do, but just look at the setup. We've got everything combined. We built the numerator. Now, we're going to clean up those numerators, invert and multiply. So on that top one, I'm going to distribute my 3. 3x plus 3 plus 2x all over x plus 1. And then if you want, of course, we can go ahead and just make that 5x plus 3 up there. I can combine like terms, get that out of my way. So I've distributed, then combined like terms. Invert and multiply. So times x plus 1, x minus 2, over. So I'm going to distribute my 1, my negative 3. So I have x minus 2 minus 3x minus 3. Distribute that. And then I can put my like terms together there. So I'd have negative 2x minus 5. And then I'm looking for some things to cancel here. The only thing I see right off the bat that cancels would be the x plus 1. I can see x plus 1 on the top right, 1 on the bottom left. That part I can see. I don't see anything else that really cancels. I'm going to write it out. Sometimes when you write it out what's left, sometimes you might see something else. Let's take a look. That numerator, 5x plus 3 times x minus 2. That's all that was left up there. Denominator, x times negative 2x minus 5. There's that negative showing up again. We don't leave with the negative, so usually we'll take that out of there. That top's just staying the same. If I take a negative out of the bottom, negative x, 2x plus 5, and I'm seeing some 5s and 2s, but there's nothing that's uncommon that I can cancel. I don't have anything left that's the same on top and bottom. So I am stuck right there. Make sure when you get to your assignment, just focus on this. Then just focus on this. Take care of that numerator and denominator separately. That actually, most of the time, will be the bulk of the work, getting those pieces together. Then, once we do that, we'll take care of this division piece because it becomes multiplication. We're ready to go. Okay. Sometimes you have things that factor out nicely and work out quickly. Other times they kind of stretch out. Just go through the process. Okay. Remember, we don't want to leave with a negative. Remember, we also want things in the correct order. We also want things in the correct order. So we want the x first. That means if I see something like this, 3 minus x, my first step should be rewrite this as negative x plus 3. Get it in the correct order, that descending order of a polynomial. Because that will remind me, you know what, I probably ought to factor a negative out of there. Negative and then x minus 3. We saw this kind of idea back in the factoring unit, and now it's coming back mixed in some other problems. Just make sure things are in the right order. All right. Your